Okay. So future contracts are basically those contracts where there are two parties. One party may agree to buy, another may agree to sell at a future time at whatever price is there in the future, which is known as the strike price. Strike price is also known as the exercise price of the contract. Let's say today's price of particular share or particular commodity is 100 rupees. After 3 months, that share or that commodity becomes 150. So at the future time, 150 rupees is being agreed by both the parties because they have to agree. Why? Because they are into a binding agreement with each other, right? Who will try to make this binding agreement? Binding agreement will be done by the stock exchange because these contracts are exercised on the stock exchange. So both the parties have to fulfill their contractual agreements in the future contracts. Future contract may be cash settled, it may be physical commodity settlement. They cannot, both the players cannot meet together because there is the mediator who act as a stock exchange. They will only decide about the offerings and about the commodities. When would be the delivery dates? What would be the size of commodity? What would be the grade of the commodity? How the commodity would be delivered? What price quotations would be there? And etc. Right? These are the features of future contract. First of all, future contracts are those contracts which are standardized contracts. Standardized contracts or standard terms means everything is decided by the stock exchange. In the previous slide also I have said you that the delivery dates, the quality, the grade of the commodity, the instructions related to the delivery, the price quotations, everything is decided by future contract. Future contracts are mark to market. Mark to market means if today's closing price is 120, so tomorrow it will open again with 120. Mark to market means closing price of one day becomes beginning price of the another day. So every future contract is bounded by mark to market. Third feature is all the contracts, whether becoming, if you are becoming a buyer, whether you are becoming a seller, you have to pay the margin payments. Margin payments are initially 10 to 15%, but later or sooner, to maintain the contract, you have to pay another type of margin, which is known as maintenance margin. So basically, there are two types of margins. First is initial margin. At the time of the entry of the contract, both the buyers and sellers have to pay the margin, which may be 10 to 15% of the whole contract. That is known as initial margin. Maintenance margin is that margin in which you have to maintain the contract at a particular level, right? So that is known as the maintenance margin. In the class, I have not done the practicals related to margin. With the end of this future contracts, I will come back with such kind of practicals too, right? Next feature is they are traded on the stock exchange and they are regulated by SEBI. Some of the examples which I have quoted in the slides related to future contracts are, it may be bifurcated into majorly three types of contracts, like commodity futures, which includes crude oil, natural gas, wheat, etc. Currency futures include British pound and euros. Precious metal, which are also known as the futures dealing into gold and silver, right? Everything related to these are decided by stock exchange. This is the important part because hedging is done majorly in future contracts and forward contracts. Option does not provide hedging. Hedging is meant to be if there is any change in the prices of the contracts or in the assets, then one have to prevent their losses from the unfavorable price movements. So everyone in the contract or whether during the exercising of the contract, they might try to do the hedging. Likewise, I have given one example. The example says that if a corn farmer is there, he enters into a future contract to lock a particular price for selling his crop. By doing so, they reduce their risk and guarantee they receive during the price transactions. Let's say if the corn farmer enter with a company into a future contract by saying that per kg of corn he will deal at 150 rupees. So he has locked the price for 150. If the market fluctuation takes place and the prices move downwards, then also farmer will gain the profits because they have now offset the losses. Why? Because they have fixed or locked their price to 150. As per the market condition, whether there is high jump, whether there is low jump, now the price is locked to 150 with the company. They cannot change the contract, right? So future contracts in this, if the price is decreased, price is increased, they can hedge their contracts as per the situations, right? Next is difference between futures and options. Futures are those contracts which are standardized, same like option are also standardized. Future contracts are those contracts where you are bounded to buy a particular contract in the future date because you have paid the margin for that. The stock exchange will make you bound to move or to exercise the contracts. You cannot leave that contract. But in option contract, if you have paid the premium, you can leave the contract, and it is your choice. You may not leave the contract. So both the situations are there, right? As premium is paid by the buyer to the seller of the contract or from the holder to the writer of the contract, the holder may leave the contract or may exercise the contract. Both options can be there. In future contracts, unlimited profit or unlimited loss can be there. Why? Because if the prices move downwards, you may receive unlimited loss. If the prices move upwards, you may receive unlimited profit. I said move upwards, unlimited profit, like if you exercise the contract at 50 rupees and market price move to 80 rupees. So being a party of the buyer, you have unlimited profit, but for the seller, it is unlimited loss. But in the option contracts, you know, the holders have the unlimited profits and limited loss, but the writers have unlimited loss and limited profits. So option part is explained with the help of charts, with the help of graphs to you, right? So please remember, all the holders of the contract have unlimited profit and limited loss, but not the writers. Third difference is future contract are executed on the date agreed upon in the contract. On this date, the buyer may purchase the underlying asset, which means that if, let's say, contract is purchased or contract is exercised or contract buyer and seller entered into 1st April. Such contracts have delivery times, have particular time periods set up by the stock exchange. These may be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months. So there is a trading cycle in the future contracts which says that every contract can be exercised as per its duration. Let's say the trading cycle comprises of 3 types of months, that is near month, next month, and far month. Near month means 1 month contracts, next month means 2 months contracts, and far month means 3 months contract. If I have purchased a contract or a future contract on 1st January, right, and I have said the stock exchange that I wanted a far month contract, so it becomes from 1st January to 1st February 1 month, 1st February to 1st March 2nd month, and 1st March to 1st April 3rd month. So far month means 3 months contract. So my contract will exercise on 1st April, right? So on this date, I will purchase my asset and I will submit my amount, whatever the contract terms are there, I will submit as per that the amount to the stock exchange. Stock exchange will submit it to the seller, right? So near month, next month, and far month concept is only in the future contracts. Let's say I want to continue my contract for 1 month more. So I will say the stock exchange that I have to continue my contract for 1 month more. So kindly provide me the next month, near month contracts. So after 1st April, 1 month contract means 1st May. So my next contract or that contract which was exercised on the 1st April may be continued till 1st May, right? So future contracts are executed as per their trading cycles. But option contracts are not like that. Option contracts are executed as per their time duration. You also know that option contracts are of two types, American styles and European styles. So they might be exercised before their date of expiry or during their date of expiries, right? Future contracts are mainly preferred by the speculators, all those people who can take the risk. But option contracts are mainly taken by the hedgers because the contracts helps in the hedging of the options. Futures provide the option of hedging, but they are mainly opted by those who are willing to take the risk. Future contracts are those contracts which are most liquid in the market, but option contracts are the most liquid contracts, but as per their unloaded way, it is not necessary that they might be easily impacted, because as per the market situation they moves. So it is not necessary that each and every person may have the liquidity option in them. If I, being the holder of the contract, I may exercise the contract, but not willingly the writers can exercise. But due to the holders who have exercised the contract, writers are in the obligation to exercise, right? So they carry a wider bid and ask price, because bid price is that price at which the contract can be purchased, but ask price is that onto which the contract can be sold out. It is not so easy to maintain that purchase and selling aspirations. They might differ. Okay. Next is future pricing. Today I am taking two cases. These two cases are, first cases is when the future contract have no dividend or no income. In this, the formula is future pricing equals to spot price into E. E is the value of constant value, E to the power of RT, right? Case second is future contract when dividend is in the percentage, where F is future price, S is spot price, E, R is rate of interest, Y is dividend in percentage, and T is time. Let's say I have taken one question here. The current market price of a share is 180. Find what strategy should the investor opt if future price becomes 192. The details of the question are when R is equals to 24% and time is 6 months. Please see, there is no dividend given in the question. There is no income in the question. So this formula is for case 1. F is equals to S into ERT. Spot price or the current market price is 180 into E. Rate of interest is 0.24. Time period is 6 upon 12. 6 upon 12 because time is 6 months. Right? So spot price 180 into, please solve this 0.24 into 6 by 12. This becomes 0.12. This makes up to 202.95 rupees. Done. Now see, there was a language that if the future price becomes to 192, but as per the formula, my actual price becomes 202.95. If I purchase the contract at 180, after 6 months at 24%, my contract value becomes 202.95, which means the investor should buy the contract. Why? Because he is exercising the contract at 180 rupees and willing that the price may increase. Whatever his willingness is there, it proves truthful, because at exercising the contract at 180, after 6 months it becomes 202. The question language speaks that if the future price becomes 192, let's say if it was 180 and if it becomes 190 point something, then also I will buy the contract because I have the profit, right? So this is the first question as per the first case. I have also taken some other questions. This is part B of the same question. When rate of interest is 15% and time is 3 months. Future contract becomes spot price given is 180, rate of interest is 0.15 and time is 3/12. So 180 into E, 0.0375, right? So please check the table values which I have provided in the groups. You have to first check the value of 0.03. Please check the value of 0.03 in the graph or in the table which I have given to you in the group. The value becomes 1.03045. Same with e to the power
Yes, ma'am. Dig gayi.
e to the power of 0.04, it becomes 1.04081. Right? So the difference between
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is
Same.
0.01036.